Hey, so in this yoga tutorial, I'm going to talk you through a sun salutation and how you can do one as a beginner using your props, and then how you can make it more advanced as you get more comfortable with the sun salutation. So, for a sun salutation, you begin at the top of your mat, and you can take your feet together, slightly apart or hip width apart, depending on what's more comfortable for you. So coming to the top of your mat, you start in mountain pose. So wherever's comfortable, making sure that however you stand, your feet are parallel. So they're not turned out or turned in. And once you've wriggled around and found some stillness, you might roll your shoulders back a few times to open your chest, drawing your shoulder blades down towards the mat behind you to open your heart center. Check that your chin is parallel to the floor. Imagine a piece of string through the crown of your head, lifting you up and lengthening your spine. So we begin a sun salutation with an inhale, and as we breathe in, you take your arms wide to the sides of the room and up to the sky, keeping your hands slightly in front of you. Don't take them too far back so you're straining to look up. To start, keep them forward slightly and just lift your gaze to your thumbs. From here, you're going to take a forward fold. So you're going to start by softening your knees. Bring your hands down past your face. Keep your gaze at your thumbs and start to hinge at your hips. Think of the crown of the head reaching forward. Your sitting bones reach back. So you're allowing a long spine for you to fold and hinge here, taking yourself all the way over to a forward fold. This is where your blocks come in. You place them just in front of your feet where it's comfortable for your hands to rest on. And then you'll allow your head to relax in your forward fold. You can take your hands to your thighs. You can take your hands to your shins. You can take your hands further down, or if it's comfortable for you, take your hands onto your mat. Keep your knees soft. But for a beginner, I would take your hands into your blocks. Relaxing here, you then lift your gaze forwards of your mat as you come up, and you want a long spine in your next movement. So you come up slightly to straighten the knees slightly. You can take your hands to your thighs or shins again, wherever feels good, and you want a long spine. Notice the difference between your forward fold and then taking a flat back here, reaching the crown of your head away, sitting bones back. From here, you then melt back to your forward fold. You're then going to take yourself down onto your mat. So you can get rid of your blocks, or you can use your blocks to then take yourself onto your knees. Once you're on your knees, you can release your blocks. Taking your hands into the floor, you want your hands slightly further forward than your shoulders. Knees are hip width apart. You're going to just send your hips slightly towards the floor. You're then going to bend at your elbows, keeping them in at your sides, so you can slowly and gently release your body onto the floor. Once you reach the floor, keeping your hands underneath your shoulders, take your gaze forwards of your mat, and imagine you're watching a spider crawl along the floor to the wall. And as you see that spider go up the wall, press into your mat with your hands to slightly take an upward stretch. So this is our upward dog. Shoulder blades draw down, elbows in at your sides, shoulders away from your ears. If you find your shoulders are still up, come lower down and release the shoulders. You don't have to go very high. Check that your feet are still pressing into your mat. So from here, you then take yourself all the way back down, forehead towards the floor. Then using your hands, press into your mat so you can lift your upper body off the floor, coming through all fours, adjusting as you need. Tuck your toes. You press into your toes so you lift your sitting bones back and up, and press to a downward dog. Misconception with downward dog, your heels don't have to be down or anywhere near the floor. It's about lengthening the spine. So you want your sitting bones to reach up to the sky. So if you soften your knees, you'll naturally start to lengthen your spine as you lift your sitting bones up to the sky. Your gaze is towards your tummy. Check your grounding down through all corners of those hands, fingertips into the floor. If you find you want to straighten your legs, you can start to begin to lower your heels a bit towards the floor, but remain with the sitting bones up. So you want that long spine here. There is the option, if you don't like downward dog, if it's too much on your wrists, you can come to puppy dog pose, which is where your knees are down, your forearms are into the floor, and your forehead rests on the floor. So it's a modified version of downward dog, puppy dog pose. Check your toes are in line with your knees so they're not out or in. And wherever you are, you're then going to take your gaze to the front of your mat. If you're in puppy dog, you can press your forehead off the floor. And from downward dog, you take your gaze towards your hands and you gently walk yourself to the front of your mat. If you find that difficult, you can use your hand to bring your foot forwards, to guide yourself to the front of your mat. And allow yourself to relax in that forward fold again. So you meet your forward fold from puppy dog pose. You can do the same. You can press into your hands to come up and actually come up onto your knees and walk yourself forward for your forward fold. From here we rise up to standing, so roll up through your spine. Your arms can draw wide like we did at the beginning, back to up above your head in prayer. Gaze at your thumbs, get that upward stretch before bringing your hands down past your face to your heart center. And that is a modified Sun Salutation A. So we'll do that again a little bit faster. Inhale, arms draw wide and up to the sky. Gaze at your thumbs. Soften your knees, bring your hands down past your face. Exhale, melt and hinge at the hips to your forward fold. Inhale, straightening the knees slightly as you take your gaze forwards and come up. Long spine here. Exhale, back to your forward fold. From here, doing whatever feels good to place your hands into the mat or on your block, so you can take your knees back, your feet back. Adjust yourself as you need to send yourself down. Elbows in at your sides, chest all the way onto the floor. Press into your mat underneath your shoulders. Gaze forwards and up for your upward dog or your cobra in this case. And then exhale, melt back down. Press into your mat. Lift your upper body off the floor. Do what you need to do here, either puppy dog pose or tuck your toes and send yourself to downward dog. Take a deep breath in and out. Take your gaze to your hands. Walk your feet forwards or use your hands to guide them to the front of your mat for your forward fold. Returning to standing, draw up through your spine, arms wide and up to the sky, upward stretch. And exhale, bring your hands down past your face to your heart center. And there you have a modified Sun Salutation A. And I'll do another video which will take you through a full Sun Salutation without props.